Dumelang, I'm Shane, and a very good day. You're probably wondering why I'm here. To be honest, I just couldn't speak the language of Groove anymore. It doesn't change, and frankly, I have. So, Olweli, Sanibonani Kuyeda. I'm here to have the conversations that actually matter. It gets lonely when you leave the only circle you ever know. But I found a new one, and I'm excited. Da, Ojani. The end of 2025. Just having a look at my hands, and I was holding too many things, but nothing was actually growing, and we outgrow with me. And that is most probably why I have not been around, because nothing was growing. It gets like that. It gets like that. So in 2025, I was buying and selling, chasing TikTok views, starting projects and stopping them. And towards the end of December, I started looking back and like, I didn't like the version of the man that I was seeing in the mirror. Not because of I wasn't busy, but I felt that I wasn't being true to myself. Not being true to myself in the sense of, when I look back in my journal, early 2025, and I'm reflecting to my dreams and goals, I see that somewhere along the line, I have not remained true to the start of 2025. And that is most probably why I did not like the version of the man I was seeing in the mirror. With us being early in the year and late December, when I came down to that realization, I started there and then already making plans to ensure that I do not repeat the same mistakes I made within 2026. In 2026, the one thing out of everything I tried last year, only one project stayed on my heart, and it was this project, GWM. Grow with me. However, I wasn't growing, and that is why the project actually never made progress, because there was no growth taking place because of having too many things here. And with that, I've realized being busy doesn't mean that you are making progress. Therefore, I've decided within this year, in my business, let me track my progress, or let my results show that I'm actually progressing in something. During the buying and reselling phase that I was in 2025, I made a couple of mistakes, in the sense of, when the first product did well and I started generating profit from that product, I wanted to expand, and I ended up also making bad buys, and that would eat into my own pocket. I would then need to suffice the loss of the business from my own pocket. And I would make many of those mistakes, but I appreciate the lessons that came with those mistakes, because that is where I saw my growth, and that is where I found my element of growth. That within the mistakes that I'm making, I should not be beating myself up around them, but actually ensuring that I'm getting better in making those mistakes. And with those mistakes being made, I've also come down to a realization that I'm actually at the place that Alex Hormozy refers to as the lonely chapter. Now, if you've never heard the lonely chapter, or if you've never come across what they call the lonely chapter is, you decide that you no longer want a particular activity to be part of you in the future or in the near future. Now, after deciding that this activity that you want nothing to do with no more, you progress from that activity However, you are not where you aspire to be. Now you find yourself in the middle. That is where the lonely chapter is. You've come too far to go back to whom you were, yet also you have not reached the desired destination. But with that, this is where some of us either break, we fall back into the ways that we knew because of they are within reach. Some of them, you've got them on your phone, they are contactable. But the new you don't have those contacts yet. You might be having like 1, 2, 3, but you also feel like you don't want to overcrowd these people because you found them in their own spaces in life and they were just going fine without you. Now they have come to meet you, and you also being part of their lives, you need them. Maybe they avail themselves once a month to you, but you need them actually more than just once a month. But you need to be patient within that. That is where I found that is what I need to do within 2026. And maybe you could do it with me. The lonely chapter is actually what inspired Grow With Me. I was feeling lonely in the transition, but that's the best lonely place to be at. Just to also share with you how I've come about this business. I've come down to a realization, I think late 2024, that within the new year, which is obviously 2025, I want to be a digital entrepreneur. I consumed so much content around digital entrepreneur. And at times, I think I would be finding my breakthrough. And in 2025, I actually started on YouTube. I dropped a couple of episodes. I sucked at it. I still suck today. But I know that I won't suck forever, you know. For me, coming to that realization of that I want to make this work, this digital entrepreneur side of my life, I want to make it work. With me wanting it to make it work, there was also an understanding that needed to take place. And that understanding was that I had the entire business model wrong. When I created or produced content, I would deliver it on TikTok instead of delivering it here. And why was that? That was not understanding the market. But here I am. I'm back. I've failed and I've rectified. And with me rectifying, it is not too late. It is very important that when you fail, you need to rectify or come to that realization that, hey, I've failed. But however, I need to make the turnaround, and that turnaround determines you. And this is where I have made that turnaround. But making that turnaround, I'm becoming more intentional. Intentional about what I want. Not about what the world wants for me, but what I want. And unfortunately, it's gonna be a little bit rocky because I know within the process, I'm gonna have to let go of circles. I'm gonna have to let go of people. People are not gonna understand the version I am becoming. But I already saw that. And I just need to clap for myself when nobody else is clapping. But that is why I'm here, because I know that I've got what it takes to clap for me when nobody is clapping. So if you have that, I think you are a member of this community. And you know what to do. That is what you do. You know what to do. Other than that, we only get better at this when you give me your reaction. You like, you subscribe, so that the others may also come across this page. Do not do that. I plead with you. We are not alone. You are also at the place where you also need to make a couple of changes if you have stuck with me up until this point. So this year, with being intentional, I am buying 6 books. 6. I'm not backing down from that. I've already bought one. I'm just waiting for it. I will share with you which book it is that I've bought. And with sharing with you the book that I've bought, the book I've bought for a particular reason, and actually to start a particular project. So you see that there's so much coming. But I only have my hands in these 2 projects. GWM and the project that I'll announce in the future. You know? Grow with me. I appreciate the people that actually consumed my TikTok content. And the friends that kept on encouraging me. Go back, go back. They kept on calling me Guam, Dizenenye. But yeah, if that is how they see it, I've got no relation to GWM, guys. Let me put that disclaimer there. I've got no relation to GWM. With that being said, yeah, man, 2026, I believe, if I just stick to these 2 things, and also obviously doing other things in my life, being a man, we ought to go somewhere, you know. And yeah, before I step out, I think I just owe it to you. One of the reasons why I also stopped creating content, I started to hate the material that I was producing. It felt like a mask. 2026, the man behind the camera is who you will get, even in person, you know, because I don't want to live in 2 different worlds. I've seen that happen to people and it doesn't turn out nicely at the end. And with me not wanting that for myself, this is how I will be. And yes, let me remind you, and I can speak Afrikaans, I can speak English, I can speak isiXhosa, Ngiyakhuluma isiZulu. Yabo? That is why you have that introduction, so that inagete as will praat. Xa ndifuna uthetha. Xa ndifuna ukukhuluma ndithi awu webafo. Yakhuluma. Because the person you will get is so versatile. I know that in South Africa we've got 12 official languages, and one of them being bye-bye. In 5 days we do it again. We reset, we recharge, and lastly, we reflect on growth.